So I want us to get into our story now. The story of the 10 dogs, the 10 days, the 10 years, as I had promised. A king who was ruling some time ago. This king had a very noble, very humble servant who had worked for him for 10 years. Mark, 10 years. The servant was so faithful that he had never failed his master even once. One day, it so happened that due to unavoidable circumstances, the servant failed to fulfill a duty he deserved to. His master was so furious with him such that he could not even face him. Those people who get so angry that you cannot even face the one who have angered you. According to the rule of the kingdom, if you wronged the king, you were to be fed alive to his 10 dogs. Mark, 10 dogs. We talked of 10 years. These dogs were so greedy and really enjoyed human flesh. People were always called to come and witness whenever anybody was found guilty. The young servant was so worried because he was aware that even after working for his master for so long, he would soon be feasted on by the dogs. As a faithful Christian, he prayed to God to grant him a way out of this death. He very well knew that the king had never forgiven anybody, even for a simple mistake. But with a lot of faith, he decided to face him before he was persecuted. Let us now hear what this young man will tell this furious and angry king. He met the king and begged him to at least give him 10 days. Our story, remember? 10 dogs, 10 days, 10 years. So, he asked him to give him 10 days to go and fast, to go and pray, and to ask God to prepare him a place in heaven, because he knew anytime sooner he was going to be fed the dogs. The king granted him this wish, provided that he would come back immediately after 10 days. The young man was so happy to hesitate. So he quickly went to the man who looked after the dogs secretly and begged him to train him on how to feed and to live with the dogs. How also to wash them and to clean up for them. And then later, he would offer his support, and the man would at least go and have some rest, which he never did, because he was the only person who had ever looked after the 10 dogs. So, he was trained for 2 days, and within 3 days, he was getting used to the giant dogs. The dogs seemed to really enjoy his company than even they ever did with their caretaker. Then after this, he now offered his friend, the caretaker, some time to go and rest. He took care of the dogs for 10 days, and he would do even better services than the caregiver. Wash them well, some shampoo, nice smelling ones, especially ladies know these things. He stayed with the dogs for 10 days, and day after day with them, they became companions, friends. Within 10 days, the dogs already were cool with our young man. 10 days were over, and so he came back to the master and told him that he was now ready to become a meal for the dogs. The king was so amazed, for he had never seen such such a brave man who never seemed to fear death. I would imagine somebody else coming shivering to the king. But he never did. He was brave. Already he knew what he had done anyway. The young man was put in a cell overnight until the next day, awaiting his death. The following morning, news spread all over the kingdom, and within a few hours, people were gathered to capacity at the area or the arena where dogs fed in public. The king was among them, waiting to see his servant torn into pieces. The young man was brought forward, but to their surprise, he was smiling as the door to the big cage was being opened. Immediately, the 10 dogs came running and barking and wagging their tails to him, and everybody closed their eyes to see what would happen. To them, they expected him to be torn into pieces. But to their amazement, the dogs came jumping to the man with joy, and the man was playing with them comfortably. He commanded. The king had never seen this in his life. He had never even dreamt of such a thing, because even he himself knew quite well that he could not go near the 10 dogs. And therefore he commanded the young man to come and explain what was happening. He walked out majestically, and everybody was gazing at him with astonishment. The young man addressed the king with bravery. "My lord, I have worked for you for 10 years, 10 good years, and for those 10 years, you saw nothing good at all in me, that you couldn't forgive me for a simple mistake. I have worked for your dogs for only 10 days, and those 10 days which you granted me to go and pray and fast, I stayed with your dogs, and for the 10 days they have realized something good and amazing in me, and that is why today you are astonished, you are surprised that I can sit and play aloud with your dogs." Our story, the 10 dogs, 10 days, 10 years. What lesson are we going to learn from this? Thank you for listening as we continue to the next session.